Inside New Orleans Sports with Eric Asher is underwritten by...
At Villere's Florist, we deliver the magic of flowers 7 days a week to the North Shore and South Shore in the New Orleans area. Whether it's for birthday parties, baby celebrations, Villere's provides colorful floral displays for all. With a store full of fresh-cut flowers, exotic tropical flowers, orchids, roses, and even fruit baskets, our goal is to make your vision a reality. Villere's Florist, proudly serving Louisiana since 1969.
Homeowners insurance increasing or deductible too high? Call, click, or come in. Save it, Dave. Dave Miette Insurance Agency.
For over 48 years, Southern Tires and Auto Repair has provided services across the New Orleans metro area. Southern Tires offers a range of tires for all vehicles and ATVs. We also have a full suite of auto repair options, including brake repair, rim repair, custom exhaust, steering and suspension, tire siping, and so much more. Southern Tires and Auto Repair, 2550 Hickory Avenue in Metairie.
Cnc Drugs is a family-owned pharmacy that's been serving Southeast Louisiana for over 50 years. Whether you need help taking care of an elderly family member, a growing child, or even a pet, Cnc provides patient-centered care for your entire family. Cnc Drugs, large enough to serve you, small enough to know you. Locations in Mandeville and Araby.
Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Inside New Orleans Sports. I'm your host, Eric Asher, live from our state-of-the-art Pontchartrain Production Studios right here in the heart of old New Orleans. As you look around, another beautiful day here in the city as we get ready for really an incredible day in sports here in the city of New Orleans with, again, the NFL Draft kicking off this evening. Saints with 2 picks at 16 and 19. Game 6 of the first round of the NBA playoffs in the Western Conference with the number 1 seed Phoenix Suns taking on the number 8 seed New Orleans Pelicans. Suns lead that series 3-2. It's an elimination game tonight in the Smoothie King Center. And of course, just again, a lot of great vibes in the city right now as the city is back with French Quarter Fest last week and of course Jazz Fest happening this weekend. Just a great time to be here in New Orleans, and the weather is cooperating. Today, again, we'll talk a lot about what's going on with the home teams, the New Orleans Saints, the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Pelicans, Tulane Green Waves, talk some high school maybe if we get a chance, and also again college athletics. And to break it down for us, legendary sportscaster and sports journalist Ro Brown is back with us. And Ro, welcome back to the show. And I, first of all, let me say this: I am forever indebted to you. Okay, because when I was a fledgling, first starting out in this business, trying to work my way in. I had met you because my daughter, you interviewed my daughter for a Star Student when you were doing that with Channel 6.
Hey, Jamie.
Over at Andrew Jackson.
Hello, Jamie.
That was my first time meeting you in person, right? Uh-huh. But then myself and Mike Lazan, you had a show on Cox in which you brought us on, 2 guys that just started in radio, and gave us an opportunity, gave us a shot. I never forgot that, and I've always kind of, again, try to follow your lead on that as well, to try to help, again, a helping hand to those that come into the business. And you've not just done it with me. There are a lot of people that are watching this show right now that are in this business that owe you a debt of gratitude, again, for that helping hand that you gave to so many. And award-winning in terms of, again, Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Just got another couple of awards again with from Loyola, your alma mater.
National champs.
National champs. Talk about that in a moment. Another distinguished award within the last couple weeks, and just congratulations on all the accolades, and just well deserved, my friend.
Thank you, Eric. Thank you very much. You did what you did. I didn't do it. You did it. An award-winning show that you've got here, and it's long running now. How many years you been doing this?
I think it's about 8 years, right, Will? 8?
8 years?
8 years, yeah.
So, you know, I mean, okay, if you say that I had anything to do with
Yes,
it,
sir.
then I'm proud of you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Like so many. Again, so many.
And I'm
You've
proud
touched
of
so
you.
many. Now, can I ask a question? Because I want to throw this out there. Well, you got we talked about the Sports Hall of Fame again. We've replayed that show several times. It's a great show. We recently, again, your alma mater won the national championship, but you also honored by your alma mater. Talk about that honor.
I was given the St. Sebastian Award. It's an award that they give during their Hall of Fame inductions, you know, and it's goes, I guess, usually to an alum who has supported the athletic department in some way, and they thought about me.
So modest. so modest.
I mean, that's it.
Right.
I mean, I didn't. Yeah,
So
that's what it was. And I was really proud of that.
Right.
I really appreciate.
You really love
that.
Loyola, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. You know. Yeah, I do. I do. You know, when I think about it, you know, when it's.
Tell the story. GI Bill.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you know, I just, you know, I got out of the Navy in 1975.
Right.
I was 23 years old. You know, I'd gone to 2 years of college before I went into the Navy at Southern University in New Orleans.
Yes.
And came back to Loyola, and you know, I knew what I wanted to do, and they gave me the opportunity to be able to do that.
Right.
You know, the communications department there was, you know, good enough to do that for me, and you know, so I've always kind of been indebted to Loyola for that, and yeah, it's my alma mater, you know, and they had a really good basketball team this year.
Incredible basketball team.
Stacey Hollowell,
he's a heck of a
they did a
coach.
really good. They were really good.
They really were. Really good. And some kids that are going to Division
I saw them early
I.
in the show, early in the year. Yeah, I saw them early in the year. As a matter of fact, I saw them play Xavier, you know, who was also good.
Right. Yes, they were.
Traditionally good.
Always,
okay?
yes.
And they beat Xavier. And I saw them when they beat UNO.
Right.
Okay, and I saw them when they beat Dillard. And you know, I said, hey, this team, you know, I mean, I knew they were going to be good because they had everybody coming back from a team that went to the Final 8 last year of the NAIA tournament, and added one guy, you know, point guard. You do know 3 of the guys. You know about Miles Burns and all, who is going to Ole Miss as a grad student, which isn't a surprise.
Right.
And Zach Wrightshill, who was the National Player of the Year, going to Marquette as a grad student, and Brandon Davis, a point guard, is going to Texas State. So, you know, and it shows where athletics are right now, that we're talking about these people who finished their 4 years.
Right, and having a chance to continue.
And now they're going, you know, which would have been, wouldn't have been thought of 10 years ago.
That's right, that's right.
But that's how college athletics is going right now. So, yeah, it was really good. It was a really good season. I enjoyed watching them.
The growth of the program, that's what I hear all the time when I talk to people about Loyola, and the fact that how many sports they have now,
Right.
You know, how this has been organically grown within the university, and that they may be knocking on the door of Division I very soon.
Brett Simpson's the athletic director there, does a really good job. You know, I like the way, this is just me personally, I like the size of the athletic department. I like the way that it's obviously incorporated, you know, that there's academics that's really involved in it, put it that way.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you get that feeling when you're there and when you're around it.
Right.
And, you know, it was ironic that the day of the Hall of Fame inductions, and when I received the St. Sebastian Award, was nearly 50 years to the day in January of '72.
Right.
50 years to the day when Loyola announced they were going to drop athletics.
Wow.
I think it was like 2 days apart, and you know, which I thought was ironic.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, 50 years to the day where they said that, you know, they weren't going to go through with it. And I remember, I wasn't here, but I remember that Loyola played Tulane in basketball for the first time that week. First time they'd ever played basketball, and they beat Tulane.
Right.
Okay, and then a few days later, they announced they were dropping athletics.
Yeah. Crazy, crazy. Some people say the Southland might be in their future. What do you think?
I don't know, man. It might. Well, I don't know. The Southland. I think the Southland will remain, although UNO isn't in it, is a football conference.
Right.
You know, Yeah, I am not connected with the University of New Orleans anymore, and even if I was, this wouldn't be the case. But I had a feeling UNO will have football.
Right. A lot of people believe that.
I didn't always feel that way. I think they're going to at some point.
Is there a benefactor in the background?
I don't know.
A lot of people.
But you got to have that, I guess.
That, right.
But for the first time, I mean, I got a feeling that it's going to happen.
Some believe that Mrs. Benson may be behind that when it's all said and done. But of course, every time somebody needs money here, they turn to the Bensons.
Who
right?
else do you mention?
Right. Exactly. Right. But there's been at least rumbles of that.
Yeah.
That would be incredible.
I do. I have that feeling. It's just. Some of the things that, and don't tell people that I said Tim Duncan, the athletic director, said that. But when he's saying, well, the soonest that this could happen would be this such and such a year. Well, you didn't usually even hear that kind of stuff.
No, never came out.
Okay, so that means that meant to me that, well, okay, maybe, yeah.
Right.
And the Southland has lost some schools, obviously, but and I've always felt that FCS football team that would really work. Yeah. That could be with the right person. It would be
especially
a really,
with the high school
really
kids
good
here.
program. Yeah. Because as I've always said, the state is full of FCS football players.
Look around, for sure.
People who are really good football players that the big schools aren't going to fool with.
Right.
Because his toes are too short or something, or whatever. His fingernails aren't long enough. So, and this place has a lot of those. Yeah. And, there's never a reason for an FCS school to not have some kind of talent here in the state of Louisiana.
I'm with you. I agree 100%.
Look at Thibodeau.
Right. HBCUs here in New Orleans and across the spectrum. How are they doing?
HBCUs,
there seems to be a real spotlight
historically
on
black
it now.
Colleges and universities. I think there is. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
The NFL's putting a spotlight on it. It seems like the NBA's doing it.
Yeah,
there seems to be a real spotlight on it now.
Yeah, I think there is. I mean, I think that the whole Deion Sanders Jackson State thing has been.
It's a great story.
What they have shined on first. Right. Because it's Deion Sanders at Jackson State, and that's been good for Jackson State. I'm not sold that it's good for every HBCU, like, sometimes he, tries to make it out to be, but that's not his job. Jackson State hired him, okay? He's doing his job there. But I think it has, kind of shined a little extra spotlight on HBCUs. The one thing I think athletically that if we look down the road, what could help HBCU athletics from a talent standpoint is the transfer portal. Right. Okay? You got a lot of people who are in the transfer portal, and they don't have enough spots for those people. There's no spots, right. You got to go someplace, okay? True. So you could get a lot of pretty talented people who are left holding the bag, because everybody won't get a spot.
Well, and look, it's on HBCUs on TV now on NFL Network. Right. A lot of this has been about the ability to be able to be seen, right? Yeah. The NFL's going to find you. The NBA is going to find you, but to be seen. Yeah. And
I always tell people, nobody saw Buck Buchanan on television. When he was at Grambling, I mean, nobody saw him. I mean, nobody saw Roosevelt Taylor when he was at Grambling. Nobody saw Willie Gallimore when he was at Florida A&M on television. You saw him when he was with the Bears. But, so it may not be the end all, but from the HBCU standpoint, if they know that that's one of the selling points that they didn't have, and now they can have it, then that helps, HBCUs. But there's always been, talented people at HBCUs. There have always been talented coaches at HBCUs. There's always been. Always. And
one of the greatest ever.
We could just go right down the street when they had Alfred Priestley at Xavier University, and when they had, football and track and all that before they dropped athletics.
Can I ask you about that? Because they just added baseball at Xavier, right?
Yeah.
There was, just again, rumblings, right? That maybe they might look to Division I eventually, their program. Do you think they will? Or you think they'll stay?
for me, from my heart, I don't think that would be a good idea
Right.
for them. I think they'd be fine, you know, where they are. You know, I think, you know, what they've done, starting a med school or whatever, if they're talking about, that's more
That's
important
big time.
right now.
Right.
Okay,
Absolutely.
you know, I mean, when you've been supplying med schools all over the country, then yeah, okay,
Right.
you probably, you know, it probably
That might be the priority.
a bad idea for them. But Xavier has always had a really strong, you know, athletic department.
Always.
You know, I mean, and it went from 1959 when they dropped it, like
Right.
Loyola did in 1972, and then they brought it back in about 1967 or 68 or somewhere around there. But you know, they've always been solid athletically. You know, before 1959, they were, in a lot of ways, in certain sports, they were really a power among HBCU schools, especially in track and field. Had
Right.
terrific track teams, had terrific basketball teams playing there in the barn and all.
Right.
You know, in through the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. You know, won Penn relay championships in track. Okay, you know, I mean, they won relays at the Penn relays, and so now, you know, all those sports are back, coming back there gradually, and I guess I should mention, I don't want people at Xavier to get mad at me. They won an NAIA national championship in cheer.
Yeah, they did.
Competitive cheer.
That's right, they
this
sure
year.
did, didn't they?
Yes.
Yes.
The first HBCU
Right.
to win a competitive
It's amazing.
cheer national championship in the NAIA.
Yeah, I don't want to say that the gap is closed, but the gap is closing, right?
Well, yeah.
Somewhat,
And
especially with again the ability to be able to have eyes on your product once
yeah,
again.
in that respect, yes.
Yes.
In that respect, yes. I mean, see, there's some people, you know, I guess if I'm a coach at a HBCU, then it might be important to me to kind of gauge what I do by Alabama or Georgia or Michigan, okay? Yeah, I'd want to be on that level. Well, you may not ever be at that level because you may not ever play against them, but maybe you will. And, you know, but, you know, to me, I mean, what HBCUs have accomplished and what they do now, you know, can stand on its own feet for me.
I agree.
For me, okay, but that's just me, okay. I don't really care if they ever beat Alabama, okay. It's because, you know, I can enjoy watching it as I have all my life, and watching the people there as I have all my life, and you know, the students at these schools can enjoy it, you know, just like they do at Notre Dame.
Of course.
Just like, you know, which is why you have athletics at these places, and that's cool.
And some great rivalries here in the city as well.
Oh yeah.
And within HBCU, we have great rivalries.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Long
Just
time
like any
rivalries.
other schools, yeah. Just like any other colleges, absolutely.
I mean, you get the basketball between, you know, Xavier and Dillard. I mean, come on.
You know,
I mean,
Alabama A&M, Alabama State, you know, Alcorn and Jackson, Southern Grambling,
Right.
and, you know, Bethune-Cookman, Florida A&M. It goes on and on.
Sure.
You know? And it's athletics and college athletics and the student athletes, and it's the same thing.
Yep, no doubt. Let's shift gears to the Saints. 2 picks, 16 and 19 in the first round. They've got 3 picks in the top 49, 4 picks in the top 98, and I think their the fifth pick is within the top 120. The big question is, again, how are they going to utilize those picks, especially in the first round? I keep hearing the only time they've drafted a quarterback, number 1, was 1971. That's Archie Manning, even though, again, we know Dave Wilson was a supplemental pick, but 1981, if I'm not mistaken, right up in there?
Yeah.
Okay. And of course, they gave it
Illinois.
Right? They gave it their first round pick to get him. But yeah. Do you think quarterback is in their future, or do you believe that there is that again, they're going to go with Jameis, give Jameis every opportunity to win this job, and maybe be the quarterback of the future? What do you think they go?
What do I think they'll do, or what would I do?
What they'll do, and then what you would do.
I think they're going to do the same thing that I would do. I think they're going to use these 2 picks, and I think they're going to use these 2 picks to get a lineman and a receiver.
I agree.
You know, whatever. Order, a lineman and a receiver.
I'm with you.
And you know, which would be good. I think, and this isn't a bad thing, I think I think Jameis Winston may be at this point, a short-term fix. Yeah. I do. I mean, unless he just blows it out of the water.
Well,
because
you've watched him. You saw him last year before the knee injury. We've heard about the Harvard School of quarterbacking and everything else that went down. He looked like a different player in those first 7 games.
Yeah, he did some things. He did some things that he wouldn't do before.
Right.
There's no doubt about that. Yeah. There's no doubt about that.
Which again gives me the pause to say, I'd like to see him in a 17-game season.
Yeah.
And see how he competes.
And I think that's what we're going to get. I think that's unless he gets injured.
Right.
But I think that's the intention.
With weapons, though.
I think they feel comfortable enough with him. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know why you would not.
Yeah. Let's see. Next 2 years, what? He would be 10 years in the league in 2 years. What? This is year 8, I think, or something for him. 8 or 7. I don't think that it's not like we're talking about a 15-year veteran that you're not sure if he's going to be able to make it through anything like that. But I think they're comfortable enough with him still to see and to put some more around him.
That's the key.
And see.
It was. I felt it was unfair last year to him to put him in the position he was in without a Michael Thomas, not going out there and really, again, addressing the wide receiver position. A lot of guys, again, off the street, undrafted free agents, putting a lot on Kamara's back as well. When he's a guy that I believe needs weapons, and I think that needs to be the focus in this offseason and into this draft. Give him weapons, and then let's judge him. Don't judge him on guys that can't get separation or can't get open, or again, maybe he's fearful of them not running the right route. Let's get some guys that you can surround him with that are real weapons, like he had at Tampa, and then let's see how he plays here in New Orleans.
Well, yeah, I think there's a degree of truth to that. He needed more weapons than Drew Brees did.
Absolutely. Brees lifted all boats.
He needs more weapons. There's no doubt about that. But I think he needed to learn to do some things that he didn't do in Tampa Bay.
Right.
Okay, and that maybe he never even thought about doing in Tampa Bay. It's good when you can throw the ball long and when you can throw the ball hard and all that good stuff. But can you throw the little flare to Alvin Kamara where you can just catch it in stride?
Yeah. Right.
Okay? The guy before him could do that.
Yes.
Okay? And that's a big deal. Can you hit that little slant real quickly? Okay? Where, maybe his motion is he has to wind up to do it. Where the guy before him didn't.
Right.
And it's not a knock on him, but there's some things I'm sure that he learned in the 2 years that he's been here that went,
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So I'm anxious to see, how he's gonna be through a whole season.
Me too.
I think, you could do some things with him.
And without Peyton here as well. That's another thing. The shadow of Peyton, again, one that he has on the organization, quarterbacks, etc. I also, again, am curious to see how the offense changes now with Carmichael really calling the shots.
Yeah.
What are we going to see?
The absence of Sean Payton will also be. Now, some people say that might not have been good for Jameis Winston. Okay, that remains to be seen.
Right, it does.
Yeah, that remains to be seen. But I'm just curious to see because, like you said, no Sean Payton, and especially on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, he has been the offense.
Right.
Okay, he has been the offense because he and Drew Brees.
Sure,
he has been the offense. And now, it's almost like it's a totally different thing. Okay,
There's no doubt.
With Brees gone last year, it was different. Now it's really different. Okay,
Right.
It's really different to see what's going to happen offensively for the black and gold.
Yeah, I'm with you. In terms of they're not going to change the offense, but you almost have to change the offense a bit because it's a different quarterback with a different skill set. And then, of course, you have to look at the weapons you have there. Offensive line, look, Terron Armstead's not here anymore.
Right.
So, again, there's an adjustment there as well. So I think there's an adjustment period for this offense. And then there's again.
And if you move Ryan Ramczyk from right side to left side, that might be an adjustment too.
I agree.
For Ryan Ramczyk.
Right.
You know?
Which again, people don't realize. They think that's automatic.
Yeah.
But it's like speaking another language,
not
right?
necessarily. Yeah.
Right.
You know.
Even though
I think he could probably do it, but still, that's it's not just a given like people think. Well, what's the difference?
Right.
Yeah, there is a difference.
Big difference. Big difference. But it'll be interesting to see how that kind of plays out. Plus, again, the adjustments on the fly. The adjustments at halftime, to be able to make those adjustments on the fly. We've seen it offensively. Look, between Peyton and Breeze, they could make those adjustments within a play, right?
Right.
At the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
How much freedom will Winston have at this point? And what type of game is Carmichael going to call?
And it's Pete Carmichael is Pete Carmichael.
Right. He's not Sean Payton.
Payton. Sean Payton.
Right. I agree.
Okay. Pete Carmichael may have worked under and with Sean Payton. Sean Payton was calling shots. Maybe Pete Carmichael has a different view of some things or of how to do some things.
Yes.
And that's cool. That's life.
People have to get used to that.
Yeah.
They have to understand that.
Yeah. Exactly. It's a little different.
It's going to be different.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
It might be just as good. It might be better. It might not be better.
Right.
Well, we'll have to wait and see.
If you would list the needs for this team going into this draft, 1 through 5, what would it be?
Ooh. The needs are obvious. Wide receiver.
Right.
Yeah. Offensive line, which sounds kind of funny because the offensive line had been one of the strengths of this team, I think, for the last several years. But with Teron Armstead gone and that sort of thing,
question with Ruiz still.
Say that, and question with Cesar Ruiz,
which was kind of unfair to him though. Wouldn't you say it's a guy that comes in as a center? You move him to guard. You got McCoy as a center. McCoy comes in as a guard. You move him to a center. I mean, do we really know how good Ruiz is at this point?
Yeah, it makes a good point. But their thing has been versatility.
No doubt.
For a lot of people. Not necessarily for the tackles, but, everybody else, you got to play something.
You got to play multiple positions.
Yeah, and you got to be James Hurst. So you got to be, and it's
there's a long legacy
pretty well. Yeah, it's worked pretty well. But Cesar Ruiz, I mean, he's pretty much he's been at one position at guard for the most part, and so I don't know if I'd say it's unfair, because he wasn't number 1.
Right.
He was first rounder.
But again, he was drafted as a center who moved to guard.
Yeah, but you knew that he would play either one.
Yes. I just wanted, that's his strength. Yeah. That's my only question.
I got you.
Is that his strength?
I got you. You're saying maybe he should be a center.
Maybe he should be a center, and I think he got a little exposed last year, especially again with the injury to Ryan Ramczyk. Right. I think again, so when you have that tandem, in a lot of cases, again, you're helped out. I think he got a little exposed. Again, I think we need to see look. I think you need to see a jump for him this year. He's got to be a more stable guy at that position going forward. I mean, I could just go in my mind's eye and remember Jameson Winston running for his life. Okay, I mean, I don't have memories of Archie Manning, but he wasn't exactly sitting in the pocket, where, again, a clean pocket like Drew Brees. Yeah. And that offensive line of injuries had something to do with it. Let him down a little bit last year. Right. He's a guy that needs a little bit of time. Look, he ran because he had to run. Right. He doesn't want to run. That's not his forte. No. So, but I mean, again, the offensive line has to be, again, a solid offensive line. But to me, the biggest thing is weapons on offense, and that means receivers, another running back, especially with the Kamara situation. Yeah. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Yeah, the Kamara situation, I mean, will he miss some time?
Might. They moved the continuous to August 1st.
They moved it to August.
Right. And the attorneys are saying that they may move it again, and try to get it to maybe toward the end of the season so it doesn't affect the season. The question is the NFL going to wait on that? The NFL has seen the video.
I know.
No one else has.
And I think his lawyers have seen the video. Right. And I think that's why they're
continuing it, right. They want to try to get it so that it's not going to affect this season. Okay?
I think they see, well, that may indicate that what's on that video is not very good for Alvin Kamara.
Right, I would agree. And of course, that's conjecture on our part.
That's all.
Nobody's seen it.
Yeah.
But you have to feel that, based on, again, what has been described to us, that it's not good for him or the guy from the Chiefs that was involved in that. Although I will say this, and I've said this since the beginning, Ron, I'd like to get your take on it. I do believe that He's never been in trouble before. Okay, that says something. Okay, he's been a great guy in the community his entire career. I think there's leeway to be able to plead that down to a misdemeanor. I think he's going to end up having, in a civil suit, end up having to pay. But I think that from a legal standpoint, it may not be, again, a felony, which could follow him around. Now, that doesn't mean anything to Goodell and the NFL.
Right.
They're going to...
They have their own punishment.
Right, accordingly. But I think that from that standpoint, from the legal standpoint, he'll... I don't say he skates, but I'm saying it's going to be dropped down to again, a misdemeanor because of his past. But he's going to end up writing a check. The question is, how many games? I mean, I've heard that if you look at the past, it could be 6 games.
Yeah, that's the NFL punishment.
Right.
Yeah,
6. I mean, that's
almost half a season.
Right. Right. And whether you're doing it this season or next season, that's why, again, I think in this draft you have to find another running back. You can't go into this season with Ingram and Kamara, and then against Jones and some of these other guys. I think you need to find another back, and you could do that in the draft and get around.
And when we say find, it's because you think about running backs. Remember when all the top picks were running backs?
Right. Right.
And now you don't even think about a running back in the first round. When you see mock drafts,
nowhere.
Running backs aren't anywhere.
Right.
Not anywhere. That doesn't mean that there aren't any good running backs.
There are good ones.
There are. Okay. Right. It's just that you got to find them.
And the life expectancy.
And later, got to find them in later rounds. So they're there. There's somebody around that would be that running back. That they could get. And that's a good. What do you think? Defensive side, linebacker,
safety. I still think they need to go after Tyrann Mathieu. Okay,
they've signed these people. Right. Even though they've signed,
Sorensen is a special teams guy. May can play free if you need him to, but he's more of a strong. I mean, again, but you've lost your 2 starting safeties.
Yeah.
I mean, you surely don't want to move CJ You got P.J. Williams can fill in spots.
Right.
I do think you need that sideline to sideline safety at free.
And
there are a couple good ones in this draft. Now I don't know if you're going to get up and get Hamilton from Notre Dame because he's a top pick. But if he falls, I'm running to the podium. No. I'm running, and I don't run much anymore. But I'm running to the podium.
Even before a receiver or a lineman.
No. But again, no. But what I would say is that because we're going to have to take a quick break here, that there are scenarios where those linemen go early. Right, and if you're looking at, and I was talking to Will the Thrill, our director earlier. What happens if you get to a situation where the top 4 linemen are off the board, and maybe the top 4 receivers are off the board? What do you do then? Are you going to take the 5th best lineman, the 5th best receiver at 16 and 19?
No,
you're going to look at other positions.
They're going to take the.
And if that happens, then maybe the safeties move down.
Yeah.
And really, again, Hamilton's really a guy that's a top 10 guy.
Yeah.
He would have to tumble.
He can play.
Oh, he can play.
Yeah. He's good.
He's got great range.
At Notre Dame.
We're going to take a quick break here because I want to come back. I want to continue the conversation about the Saints. I want to get into the Pelicans as well. Ro Brown is with us. Again, a legend in this town when it comes to sportscasting, sports journalism. I'm Eric Asher. We'll take a break, listen, hear from some of our underwriters, and then we'll get right back into Inside New Orleans Sports. Stay tuned.
Burkhart's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration has been family-owned and operated since 1989. Burkhart has energy-efficient solutions and offers brands such as Mitsubishi ductless AC units and Amana, the only manufacturer with a lifetime unit replacement warranty. Burkhart's offers maintenance bundle packages that include servicing your AC, generator, and tankless water heater. For more information on the services Burkhart's provides, visit acpromise.com. Burkhart's Air Conditioning, Heating, and Refrigeration, providing comfort for life.
Located at 3701 Iberville Street in Mid-City is Katie's Restaurant and Bar. Open 7 days a week, Katie's offers daily specials for lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Serving New Orleans cuisine such as fried shrimp platters, grilled redfish, and a fully stocked bar. And don't forget about our expanded event seating and local entertainment. Featured on the Best of Food Network's diners, drive-ins, and dives, Katie's Restaurant and Bar.
Welcome back to Inside New Orleans Sports. We're just conversing here in the break. We were talking about Jameson Williams. Oh, again, looks like, again, a guy that fits the Saints. Saints are looking for somebody to take the top off the defense. He's the guy, if you want to talk about that. Coming off an ACL injury. The guy, you've seen him play. The guy's a blur, okay? I mean, he's really good. He runs a good route runner. Yeah. The big question is, if he does fall to 16 or to 19, if you're the Saints, do you make a move on a player like that may not be available till October, November? And then he's a rookie, right? Yeah. It's not a veteran coming back in October, November. It's a rookie. Now again, they borrowed that pick from next year, right? So maybe you're getting a little bit of a head start there. Mickey even talked about having that second pick. You know, they're getting a player a year early. You're the Saints. Do you pull the trigger on a guy because you know when he gets healthy, he's going to be, it might be the best player, it might be the best receiver in the draft.
Yeah. I would, even though. I would, even though he had a knee injury.
Yes.
And he had a knee injury pretty much just running in a straight line to me.
Right.
Okay? You know. And I'm thinking long term. I'm not thinking necessarily, you know, not being ready until October or November or something like that.
So you're thinking chronic down the line?
Yeah, that would be my question. You know, I mean, there's no question that I'd want him healthy. No doubt about it, okay? I think because of that, he will go a little later, meaning that, you know, some of the Ohio State guys or the guy from Arkansas or whatever may have gone before him anyway, but now I think this pretty much, you know, assures that they'll probably go before him. Right. You know, and, you know, I would, but I'd still take that chance.
Right. Tyrann Mathieu, Jarvis Landry. Fans want him, okay? Yeah. You know, some because they went to LSU, some because they're New Orleanians. Yeah. I like them because both are veteran players that I think can come in and help this team at positions. Again, Michael Thomas coming off of 2 years of injury. If for some reason he can't go or he's not the same player, Jarvis Landry is that player. Jarvis Landry is a veteran. They can catch the ball in a crowd. Yes, he kind of duplicates the skill set a little bit of Michael Thomas, but again, you can't have too many guys like that, and he's a leader. You talk about Tyrann Mathieu, he's a leader. Yeah. He's still got the range, maybe not the range he had as coming in, but he's still got the range to play free safety.
He can't have the range, and that's okay. But he's got more of this, okay? And more of this on and off the field.
Right, I agree. Okay. Where maybe he wouldn't have come to New Orleans before.
More of this on and off the field. Right. You know, here's what I think about Tyrann Mathieu. You know, Tyrann Mathieu, you know, people talked about him, oh, I wish he could have been here. I wish he could have played here, you know, as a rookie. No, I don't think Tyrann Mathieu should have been here.
And neither do I.
Okay? No, it wouldn't have worked out. And he'd probably agree with that right now.
I think he said that.
Now, you know, he's mature enough now. You know, he's seen enough now and has learned enough now that, you know, it would be no problem at all. I mean, he's one of these people. He was a very instinctive player anyway. Right. Okay, and now, you know, with a little bit of that instinct, older instinct, maybe not as fast, maybe not as quick, or whatever it is, but you know, now he has knowledge with that instinct. And I would think he would definitely help this team. And Jarvis Landry also.
Me too.
Okay, Jarvis Landry also. I mean, he's not the guy. You know, he's not going downfield or anything like that over the top. No, that's not what he's going to be. That's not what he is. But you know, somebody.
If you
like
throw it in
that,
a tight window to him, he's getting that ball. He's a 50-50 guy.
Yeah. He's gonna if you can do that, you know. Right. Now I keep going back to.
Can Jameis do that?
I keep going back to.
He's got to be able to do that now.
Yeah,
okay?
you know.
I mean, again, I get it. Rocket arm, all that.
That's what he's. That's what he's got to learn to do.
Right. That was I felt like he didn't do last year because I felt there was a lack of a trust factor. You know, with a lot of the guys that he had there in terms of getting off the jam, getting separation, etc. Also, when you talk about Mathieu, look, they put a lot of money into Malcolm Jenkins, maybe a little bit more money than they should have, to be a leader. Right. So again, they need that back there, and that's why I think he's another guy. They lost Will Clapp this week. How big of a loss is that?
No, I don't think it's a big loss. You know, I was glad Will, you know, got on with somebody else. I think he's going to the Chargers.
Yes.
You know, no, he
Same
was,
offense.
Yeah. I don't think it was. I mean, he was, you know, inactive sometimes, active sometimes. No, I don't really think so.
Let's talk about the Pels.
Pels.
You and I
New Orleans Pelicans.
go back to the ABA Buccaneers in this town. I was just a little kid.
Jimmy Jones.
Then,
Larry
of course,
Brown.
Maravich, McElroy, and the Jazz. With the exception of the ABA, we've never had a team over 500 in this town when it comes to NBA basketball, right? You look at with the Hornets.
We've had a team.
The Hornets.
They were over 500.
Hornets
We've had a
right.
team over 500.
You look at this team now as is constructed, based on what we saw early in the season to now. It's really kind of a different team. You know, again, David Griffin went from, you know, I call it the dead vice president of basketball operations walking, okay, to maybe executive of the year, okay, to be able to do what they've done without Zion Williamson.
Which we haven't heard a lot about.
No.
Okay.
Well, he's been eerily silent, but again,
No, not him.
Oh,
said, you know, we haven't heard people talking because, let's face it, you know, several months ago, people were talking about him being.
He needs to be gone. I was one. Okay, I mean, I'm not going to shy away from my opinion, but he made some great deals, and he put this team in a position now that you feel good about the future, and it starts with Willie Green. Talk about it.
I mean, it's obvious the guy, you know, is a heck of a coach. You know, 1-12 or whatever it was they started out as, you know, and he was still kind of, you know, it's going to be all right.
Yep.
It's going to be okay. You know,
he kept telling us
it's going to be
a
all right.
learning experience.
It's going to be okay. You know, it's going to, and lo and behold, you know, it was okay. Obviously, there's something. I mean, when you think about it, yeah, there may be some different people, meaning personnel, from this year and last year. But there's got to be something that has to do with the personalities of the last two coaches that made a difference.
Yes.
Okay. You know, now I realize that Stan Van Gundy is one of the you know, the people that's in the NBA. Right. That Van Gundy name and all that. Okay. All right. But, you know, to me, this doesn't speak very well of Stan Van Gundy. To me. All right. Like I said, yeah, I know there's some different people, but basically, you know, it shows the difference that a coach can make.
There's no doubt. The ability to reach your players, the players to trust you, trust the message, follow through. The biggest thing that I've found is, and you question the IQ of this team at times over the last few years. The IQ is there. They're smart basketball. You see it now. Yeah. But to be able to make the adjustments like they're doing in game, in between games, to be able to have the players be smart enough to be able to take that very, very quickly and to be able to make those adjustments on the court. And then the buy-in that you see now from these players with this coaching staff. You know, look, people know D'Antoni, but D'Antoni is a consultant. Not many people know who's on that bench outside of Willie Green. And they got some really good coaches on that bench.
D'Antoni is a consultant.
Right.
Yeah, it just, you know, to me it's just obvious that, you know, this guy, meaning Willie Green, you know, is the difference in this, okay? You know,
I agree.
I mean, we could get back to David Griffin and the moves that he made, but, you know, this is, you know, I'm an old school kind of person as far as players are concerned, you know, like, and not to harp on him, but, you know, the Van Gundy feeling, you know, that players, you know, players need to be led, and they need to be, you know.
They tuned him out.
Yeah.
They tuned him out almost immediately.
Yeah, I think, you know, and they have that feeling that players are they're dumb, okay, and you know, and I don't think that Willie Green has that kind of attitude. No. You know, and like,
well, he's
but it's not a situation. Yeah, but it's not a situation where, you know, because you may be looked at as what they call a player's coach. It doesn't mean that he lets them do whatever they want to do. Okay, that's not that. It's not that. No. I just think that personality personality and knowledge of the game has a lot to do with it.
Yes, I agree.
There's no doubt about it. Now back to your favorite, David Griffin.
Right.
Okay.
Who I really liked coming in. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, everybody did. Yeah.
But
everyone did, and then everyone didn't.
Because,
and then
because of results, right?
Yeah, right. And the way it looked. Okay. Valanciunas.
Right. Great move.
Great move.
Right.
Right. Stephen was.
Right.
Fine.
Nice player, but it wasn't a fit.
Big difference.
Right.
Big difference what you get from Valanciunas.
Yes.
And what you get from him.
Yes.
I mean, you get double from him.
Every
okay?
night.
Yeah, exactly. Drafting Herb Jones.
Right.
I mean, like
Finding
I said
Alvarado.
earlier, I mean, finding Alvarado. Yeah.
Murphy finally coming into his own.
The McCollum thing.
Right.
And all.
Which again is an underrated trade because it's not just McCollum. You brought in Larry Nance Jr.
Yeah.
Snell again had a little bit of an influence early, but he's still a seasoned vet on that bench. So that was an incredible trade. And you gave up some young players that, I was thinking Nickeil Alexander-Walker's got a chance in this league with the right system. We saw Didi Louzada, again, really kind of excel with Portland. And look, Josh Hart was the heart of this team. It was hard to walk away from that. But it was the right move.
Yeah.
And really it turned the fortune of this team around.
Yeah.
Took some guts to make that deal.
Exactly. It took some guts, and as it looks like it's good guts.
Yeah. No, it
turned out really good.
Right move.
Turned out really good. This team, first of all, to me, this series has been the best series of all the series.
I agree.
Yeah, to me, of the playoffs, to me. I might be a little prejudiced because it's the New Orleans Pelicans, but to me, maybe Minnesota and Memphis has been good, but this has been
exciting.
This has been the best one, okay? And, you're playing a team, in Phoenix that's a really good team.
Right.
Most wins in the league this year.
Right.
And, I've always said, before the series started, I said, they can't beat the Suns, okay? But I don't care.
Right.
Okay? Based on what they've done already,
right.
I'm fine. Okay? I'm fine. Next year is going to be even better, and so on and so forth. From whence they came in the beginning of the season to now, oh, man, I'm cool.
Yes.
Whatever they do.
Me too.
Okay, I'm cool, all right?
Plus the learning experience, right?
Yeah, right. And I didn't think that the Suns would sweep them, but
me neither.
But yet they're not going to beat the Suns, I thought. Without Devin Booker, they may be able to beat the Suns.
I agree. Now, he may come back tonight.
Without Devin Booker.
He may come back tonight, limited minutes. At least that's Fran saying that. We'll see.
Right.
They're not going to push that hamstring because, again, they're thinking next series.
Yeah.
If possible. But I'm with you.
Yeah, without Devin Booker.
This is anybody's series.
Yeah. You see, now and then, Chris Paul doesn't bring the ball up. Devin Booker does.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure Devin Booker will care about Alvarado.
Right.
Okay. I mean, it's just, and, Devin Booker is the guy on the team when they go down 2 or 3 times and don't get a basket. That 4th time they go.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Go score. Okay.
Right.
And he's that guy. He's one of those. And that's where he makes a difference. But without him, I think they can beat him.
I do too. I'm surprised they played like they did in the first quarter in Game 5. I really am. I expected intensity. I expected physicality. I expected them attacking the glass. They settled for 3-point shots. They got down early. They never were able to catch up. I think it's going to be a different situation in the Smoothie King Center tonight.
Yeah.
Again, I think that we will see that physicality. We will see that sense of urgency in an elimination game. And look, you get to a Game 7, I don't care where it is. It's anybody's game at that point.
Yeah.
And they're playing with house money right now. They're not supposed to be there.
Yeah, like I said, whatever they do, to me.
Are you surprised about Brandon Ingram and not just his? Because again, I thought the only knock was again the injury issue he had with Los Angeles when the trade was made. That was the big question mark. Okay, but he has taken a meteoric leap in terms of his game. But also the leadership and the vocal leadership we're seeing out of him, almost a total different player than when he got here in New Orleans about 3 years ago.
Right. Yeah, people grow up. And I think he's an example of somebody that's grown up. Still not, an outwardly vocal person, but you see him interacting and talking more on court than you did when he got here or when he was
on
at
the
Los
sidelines,
Angeles.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
He's grown.
The talent was always there, the length.
Yep. His ability to shoot the basketball.
Yeah, was always there.
And now a willing passer.
Yeah. That's the other thing about him. Yeah, you never really thought about him passing and all, but I have my thing about ballers and players.
Okay.
Some people are ballers, some people are players. Some people are ballers and players. Okay. Example, Russell Westbrook is a baller.
Okay.
I could watch him all day, but he can't play. He doesn't know how to play with anybody. Okay. Now he's with a team where they expect him to play. He's lost.
Right.
Okay. He doesn't have the ball, so what am I supposed to do? Okay. And, this is a team that has people who play.
Right.
We've got people who play on this team.
Right.
And all are really good
They're at
teams.
their best when they're sharing the basketball.
And all are really good teams.
Yes.
Okay. And that's what a good basketball team is. They play. And this is a team that plays.
Right.
It could be a different person every night. You may have the same leading scorers, but somebody else may have did something that night that decided the game.
Sure.
Okay. And the good teams have that.
Right.
And when this team wins every night, that's what you see.
Yep, you do.
That's what you see. Okay. McCollum and Ingram may have the most points.
No doubt.
Yeah, they do.
It's good when you got the top three doing that.
But somebody else. Okay.
Right.
Valanciunas may have 22 rebounds.
Right. Herb Jones.
Okay, or whatever.
Right.
Herb Jones may block 3 3-point shots.
Right, which was incredible, by the way.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was just, not to do it twice.
I mean, I knew he could do it because I've seen him do it. Okay, so I do it in college. Okay,
Right.
so but 3 times in one game.
Oh. Unbelievable.
I'm going. Wait a minute.
New Orleans is not a basketball town. You buying that?
Yes.
You don't think it is?
No.
What would you call it?
I'd call it what we called it when I worked for the New Orleans Jazz. It's a star town.
It's a star town.
Yeah,
Bring a star
it's
in.
It's a win town.
Right. So I believe it's a win town.
It's a win town.
Right.
New Orleans is a basketball town if it wins.
Right.
If that team wins. Okay. Perfect example is this time right now and this time 4 months ago.
Yeah. A lot of unfamiliar faces in that arena.
Yeah. The place wasn't half full.
Right.
3-4 months
Right.
ago. Okay.
True.
And now it is. All right.
And if they had the star, if the Zion was there, there probably would have been more people there.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because I agree with you.
Maybe.
You go down Maravich, Paul, Baron Davis, Mashburn.
And then the days that, and then the days that you have the big players coming in with the other teams.
People are going to come out.
Will show up.
And with their jerseys on.
Yes.
Right.
And so, in that respect, no, it's not a basketball town to me.
Right.
But, they enjoy winning.
Right.
They enjoy it being the New Orleans team. They enjoy it being our team. Okay, but
the foundation looks like it's sustainable winning.
Oh yeah. A lot
like what we saw when Peyton came to New Orleans.
Now, bear in mind, in basketball, I mean, things kind of can crumble quickly.
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, a couple injuries and
they can crumble quickly. A couple free, somebody goes, signs a free agent contract, leaves or something, and it can change quickly. But the basis of it, because this team has a lot of youth, the basis of it is good.
Yeah,
it is.
No, they do
right now.
They have a good foundation, and guys that seem like they like each other, which I think is big, and want to be here.
Right.
And that's the key. A lot of times you got guys that are looking out there, and I'll say this before we close on the Pels. they're no longer a one-man team. And I've always felt that basketball in New Orleans was always about a star.
Yeah.
And everybody's also worried about the star. If the star leaves, we're done.
Right.
I think there's more than just one player on this team now.
Right.
Okay, it's not about Zion. It's not Zion's team. It's not Brandon Ingram's team. It's not CJ's team. It's a team. And I think that's different than what we've seen in a long, long time here in New Orleans.
I think you're right. Willie Green, key.
Right.
And I think that if there is another key person, I think it'll be C.J. McCollum. Okay,
Right.
This is somebody. This is a grown-up.
Right.
I don't know if people realize this is the president of the union.
Right.
Okay.
That's a big stick.
Big voice. But he's. My point is that he's grown up. He's a grown-up.
Right.
Okay. If he's president of the union, you have a feeling that he knows how a locker room should be from
Right.
both sides.
Right.
Okay. How it should work, and that's important. That's one of those things that we don't think about a lot.
I agree.
But that may have something to do with the current success they have.
Yeah. And why people feel good about this team no matter what happens.
Yeah.
Do they re-sign Zion in the summer? Do they give him the extension?
I hope so.
$180 million?
I hope so.
Right.
I hope so. Yeah. And you see, even though I said I hope so, and this will probably contradict what I'm saying, I'm not sure if he'll ever really be well.
Because of the weight?
Because of his build.
Right.
Because of his muscular build.
So you think he's going to be a guy who's going to be often injured?
Yeah, I have that feeling.
Right.
And it's not his fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just, I'm talking about his build.
Yeah.
I'm talking about if his weight is fine. I mean, he's muscular.
He's still muscular, right.
He's really, he has muscles.
He's carrying a lot on that frame.
Yeah, even if he's in shape.
Right.
And even if his weight is down.
Right.
Okay? It's thousands and thousands of time of getting off the floor. He gets off the floor like John Morant does.
Yeah.
He gets off the floor that quick. I mean, he's
one of the
equally
quickest.
as, and thousands and thousands of times, all it takes is one little bone and one of those feet.
But if that's the way you feel,
that's what I said. It contradicts what I said.
Would it be in the best interest of the team to try to move him and get more assets to build around what they have now?
For that, for that. Like I said, I mean, I when I said that I would, that's just my own personal. I'm telling you right now, that's just me saying that. And just but I would understand. I mean, it would make sense not to.
If they feel that way,
it would make sense not to. Feeling the way that I feel.
We got 30 seconds. I would
already.
I would. I would like to see him if they move on to the next series, play in the next series. Would you?
No.
You don't want to see him at all?
No. Well, no.
Okay.
Why? Well,
because I think 15 to 18 minutes would give them another player on the floor they have to contend with.
Or you're showcasing him for when
and you could possibly showcase.
That's what you do.
I mean, yes, you're proving to everyone either he can play or he can't.
Okay, all right. Well, in that respect, I mean, that would be a good reason to do it.
Yeah, but also, again, it gives them another option.
Yeah.
Ro, an absolute pleasure as always.
Oh, pleasure is mine.
Thanks so much for joining us on the program today. And again, we are so proud of everything that you've done, the trailblazer you are, open up so many doors for so many people in this town to be able to live out their dream. And I'm one of them. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric, for having me.
Always.
Always a pleasure coming here.
Right.
Jamie, your father did all right.
Nah.
You ought to be proud of him.
There you go. Thank you, Ro. Ro Brown, again, legendary sportscaster, sports journalist here in this town. All right. Thanks so much for tuning in. There's a rebroadcast of this program coming up at 6 o'clock tonight on WLAE-TV. But so many ways to be able to see the program. There's a QR code that'll take you right to our YouTube page. You can check it out there. So again, make sure, again, if you missed our program, check out one of the rebroadcasts. I'm on the radio 4 to 6 on 106.1 FM. That's weekdays. You can listen live at ericasher.com. Also, again, our Anchor is our podcasting platform. You go there, check out all the podcasts, our digital platforms, the TuneIn app, and also, again, the iHeartRadio app. So plenty of ways to catch the radio show as well. Special thanks to our underwriters and the WLE production staff who will make this possible, including Rod Yeager, Jim Dotson, Lauren Graffia, also Alex Chacon, and William Hill. For Ro Brown, I'm Eric Asher. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week for another edition of Inside New Orleans Sports. Thank you.